Hello and good evening. Welcome to Hedge Racing, the next chapter in this season, as we are in Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. You may have just been on the stream then and it may have kicked you off. For some reason the broadcast ended, so I apologise for that. So it came to an abrupt end. I think it lasted about 40 seconds. Limmy was speaking and the stream ended, so I do apologise for that. Good evening, Limmy.
Oh yeah, good evening to you.
If you want to take over for a few minutes, mate, I'm just going to set the stream up, make sure it's all running okay, and I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yeah, no problem. Welcome to Monza. 82% of the lap distance is taken at full power compared to Singapore's 53% tomorrow night. But we must get on with Italy. And we had a practice race in the week. Was a bit of a meltdown, but it was a lot of fun nonetheless. We got just under 13 minutes of qualifying to go, and we have 16 drivers this evening. Hobbsy, Jelly, Favi, J Wills, Lewis, Jacko, Arif, Chimp, AEK, Jane, Smithy, Chris, Mike, Jacob, Top Dog and Mills. We have cars all over the grid. Shall we say the usual 16? I think that's fair to say. And we've had a third of quali already. Hobbsy 6 at the top. Nice view of the pit lane from his point of view there. 21.1 at the moment. Half a second down. Jelly, Red Bull, can they pull a further gap from Racing Point tonight? Lewis has retired in P5. Bit of a slow end time as well. Might drop down later on. Fabi's third at the moment. J Rose is fourth. Of course, only the first batch of times have come in, and we've got many more to come. Let's go on board with someone who's about to start a lap. Let's go on board with Jelly, who's putting a few practice, never mind. Let's go on board with someone else who may be on an outlap. Smithy is on an outlap in his Ferrari, and we've seen some of the progress of his driving. A little bit naughty in the week, but generally okay in the races. And we'll take you on a lap of Monza with a couple of the corner names as well, which you'll hear us go through a lot tonight. Sometimes instead of the actual turn numbers, we go through the names at Italy. It's a well-known track to most of the fans, and we go down the insane straight, 220 miles an hour, 225 with the DRS, down to the first chicane. Turns 1 and 2, the right-left, going to be absolute chaos when the lights go out, and round the right-hand turn we go, round Curva Grande. If you go on that curb, you might end up in the wall, so got to make sure the drivers don't do that. Down to turns 4 and 5, the second chicane, as we head on towards Lesmo. Two parts of Lesmo, two right-handers to do it. Turn 6, almost 90 degrees, and Smithy spins his Ferrari and damages his front wing in the process of a lap tutorial on Monza. But we will carry on with Favi Venom, who's just passed. Turn number 7 is the second part of Lesmo, and then you enter a next DRS zone. Good chance for overtaking as well, but it is tricky as we head to the Ascari section, the famous section to take drivers out of races. It's a left, right, left section of 8, 9 and 10. Left, right, left, you can have half a curb on each, and that's about all you're allowed. Don't slip on the way out, just like Top Dog's done on the left hand side. And Favi routes us down to one of the most famous corners on the F1 calendar, the 180 degree elongated hairpin of the Parabolica, turn number 11, that is. Only 11 corners in Italy. You'll cross the line, and Favi will start his lap, but that is the lap of Italy. I heard a mic flicker, and I think the main man is back.
I am back, mate. A few comments in the stream. Chris Panda says, "Evening, mate. Have a lovely stream. Make sure the dogs had a wee." In reference to that, I think he meant when my dog interrupted my stream last week. Kiera Henshaw says hello. Hello, Kiera, in the other room. Andrew Eaton, which I believe is AEK, says Haas getting top 10 again. Love the confidence. Good luck for the race. Luke Doran, I apologise, don't know who you are, mate. You says, what is the league name? If you add me on Discord, I'll put my Discord in the chat in a moment, so you can have me on Discord. I'll give you some information on the league. Wills it. J Will says, I'll take a P4. Can we end it now? You're already down to P5, J Wills. You need to go back out and improve it, because you've already gone down one position. That is the comments for your limit so far.
That's right, on board with Favi Venom as he tries a Ascari section. Now, if you're listening, Favi, take that more on the outside instead of the middle of the track, and you can get him a couple of attempts there. But he's on a soft, fresh set of soft compounds, heading down to the Parabolica and we've got 8.5 minutes of quali left. We're about to enter a second batch out of 3 of the quali laps here in Monza as Favi ends round the final corner. He's going to cross the line. Has he improved on a 21.9? Goes 4 tenths quicker. Still third fastest. Mike has now put his spot on the P2 as he comes around the final corner to enter the pits. I'm sure only 2.5 tenths, quarter of a second behind Hobbsy. And as Kez said a minute ago, J Will's 6th in 5th as Jacko just crosses the line into P4.
No update on the weather, Limmy. I don't know if you had any weather. It's very nice and sunny for qualifying, but I've had no update. If one of the drivers can put in the chat and give us a bit of an indication on what the weather is, I would appreciate it, because it gives us a bit of information, as we can't physically check the weather, which is a bit stupid, isn't it? You think as spectators you'd be able to check the weather, but you can't.
Maybe, I don't know. I think, I mean, I like to not know what it is.
Yeah, it's a surprise, I suppose.
I like to know what it is.
Yeah.
So obviously,
I mean,
it's a mixed opinion, but Italy for me, and real life, it can rain, as we've seen in Grosjean's awful crashing the heavy rain qualifying 3 years ago. But it's a power circuit. It was done in 75 minutes in real life. It's just, I prefer the dry in Italy just to see the raw power.
Yes, indeed. J. Luke says good luck to all. He's not here tonight. He's here tomorrow for Singapore, but should be a great race. We won't focus on Singapore too much just yet, as Chris Pandit in the Renault did get fastest lap, but with a matter of seconds, it went to Hobbsy in the McLaren with a 1:19.8, followed by Chris Pandit, 21.1. Mike 3rd, Favi 4th, Jacko 5th, Jelly 6th, respectively. Jay Bulls, who did put in the chat, he wanted a P4. He's now 7th, and he's on his out lap, Limmy. Just about to go on to his lap.
So Hobbsy puts in a lap that's 1 1/4 of a second quicker than Chris Pandit at the moment. It's a pretty solid lap, actually. Jelly, of course, only set a medium lap. It's a soft to medium compound. Without a safety car, we had a safety car in midweek. I was able to take the mediums from lap 10 till the end. They were on about 45%. So even if there's an early safety car, probably still 1 stop to go. Sorry. After that, and you said J Wills is on a lap, so let's go on board. Let me just put the fastest lap timer on. Here we go, and to the second chicane he goes, and let's see how he cuts these curves. So you can actually take half a curve. He actually takes it pretty nicely, to be honest. It looked okay through the first part of Lesmo in his McLaren, and him and Hobbsy teaming up as we change a couple of things to get Hobbsy, J Wills more involved, as his Williams came to an abrupt end before J Luke came, of course.
Quick comment on the weather, Limmy. Mike Whitty in the Red Bull says we have no rain. It is a clear day in Italy.
Yay. That's
which
good.
I'm sure the drivers will appreciate. So we're saving the rain for a heavy rain Singapore tomorrow.
Yes, we can have that. Yes.
No, I'm joking, but that would be amazing. That would be so fun. Maybe not for the drivers, but certainly for us commentators.
Yes.
I mean, we've got a great weekend in store, haven't we? 2 really different circuits. You couldn't be more different, could Italy and Singapore? So, should be a great weekend. We're getting into the stage now, Limmy, where we're not near the end of the season yet, but it's getting towards that stage where you're going into the back end of the season now. F1 2020 is approaching, and every point matters in the home straight.
Yeah, for sure. J Wills did cross the line, did improve, only by 1 position though. Up to P6, Favi and Jacko on out laps at the moment. Mike might be on a fast lap, and he is heading out to the first chicane. Brakes well, a little bit wide in 2, has to cut the curve, goes off the track, and I don't think he'll be able to continue on that lap. Smithy's on a fast lap, heading through to Scari now. Low battery though, but he is up on his time, which is good as he slides his Ferrari through turn 10. As he's got a little bit of a car in front of him. Probably could have moved over to Chimp and get a little bit of slipstream to help the Ferrari man out, but of course all cars are on equal performance, and it's only 13% gain that you'll get if you can get any. He rounds the final corner, I think he's entering the pits.
He is indeed, Limmy. Just a quick reminder to all drivers that are watching on the stream, we have got manual race starts as Ryan Mills retires. Did so well in the practice sessions, and he's getting at highest a P11, so disappointing for the Renault. I'm sure Chris Panda, his teammate, will not be impressed with Ryan Mills. Yeah, quick comment on the race start. It is manual, please remember that, all 16 of you. It is manual race starts. I reminded you already, no room for error tonight.
Absolutely. We will go through the current standings and the previous race results during the formation lap, so we have something to discuss before we get going, but we must concentrate in the final 4 minutes for the final bit of qualifying. Hobbs' lead is actually a pretty nice one at the start, as Mike now restarts his fast lap attempts. He could have pitted and gone for another fresh pair of softs, but I'm sure he wants to save an extra pair for the race just in case of an early safety car, Kez, which is possibly likely, knowing what turn 1 and 2 are like here.
Well, I mean, on any circuit, Limmy, a safety car's like, you know, as far as stats are going, we've had a safety car in every single race this season. So it would take a miracle not to have one tonight. And like I say, there's a bit of a battle going on for the constructors. We mentioned it in pretty much every race. We've got obviously the Racing Points and the Red Bulls with a really, really good battle. But just in the last week or so, as Mike goes wide, Limmy, just in the past week, you've seen the Red Bulls creep into that bracket a little bit. Chris Panda and Ryan Mills with some really good consistent finishes between the two of them. So maybe a third team entering the constructors battle, we will see. But Mills has got work to do tonight, Limmy. He's got a DNF.
On board with Top Dog, who makes his way down to the second sector point just before the Ascaris section. Let's see if he's up or down on his time as he crosses the line. He's slowing down, he's down. Let's go on board with Jacob. He's the next car to cross that second sector line, and let's see if he's better on his time. So he was down a tenth, then up a tenth, and he's pretty slow for Ascaris, Jacob Rice. But we can remain on board because I don't think anyone else is on fast laps at the moment ahead of him, as Top Dog gives him a little bit of a slipstream. Can Jacob improve on that 13th spot? He needs a minimum of about a second to get into the top 10 places for tonight's grid. Jacob Bryce has run out of battery already, crosses the line, hasn't improved.
Quick comment on Jelly, the leader so far this season. He's currently P8 and he's not come out of the pits, and he's running out of time to get a better lap in here. So whether it's tactical from Jelly and he's going for a bit of a trickier approach, I'm sure we'll find out later. Or whether he's just not, I don't know, whether he's not on the mic, I'm really not sure. But
could be saving tyres.
It could be. It could be tactical from Jelly. He's clever and he's very quick on any circuit. But P8 at the minimum, sorry, the maximum, should I say, for Jelly, which gives him work to do. That is for sure.
Let's go on board with Chris Panda, who now starts his hunt to catch Hobbsy, and this is his final attempt, as he won't make it back to the line in time. He's got to get this braking point just about right. He tries to undershift his gears, or downshift, sorry, that's awful terminology, and he can't do it. So Chris Panda,
get on board with Favi, Livy.
Getting better than a 21-1 on board with Favi, and probably not now, because he won't be able to.
Yeah, he's just hitting. I think they may have been in collision with Favi and Jay Wills. I may be wrong, but Jay Wills just retired. Whether he'd already retired or not, I don't know. But there's a McLaren on track. Is that Hop?
It was on the same portion.
No, it's a McLaren. Yeah, it is Jay Wills. So possibly, because it was looking more and more likely that Hobbsy will get the point for the fastest lap. Not that it matters for Hobbsy. He's got quite a comfortable lead and looks certain now to get fastest lap and get that extra point in his hunt for Jelly in the standings.
So Hobbsy's done the same, will not improve. Chris Panda will also not improve. Jay Smithy goes fourth fastest. I'm sure that Tifosi will be happy with that. On board with Mike, he won't be able to improve either. So Hobbsy, Chris, Mike and Smithy are locked in. So is Fabi, so is Shako. No one will be able to improve. It's like the F1 2019 quali 3 in real life, when everyone tried to get slipstream, but no one actually got a lap in. And no one is gonna improve, Kes. So quali is all over.
Well, there's a fact for you fat fans. That is Jay Smithy's highest qualifying all season. So well done to the Ferrari driver. An excellent effort into P4, and he's not a million miles behind Panda and Whitty. And Jay Smithy will be happy with that. I'm sure he will. Hobbsy will get the point for fastest lap, and all these points make prizes. Don't forget, he's in a hunt to catch Jelly. And he will take that, Will Hobbsy. Jelly in 9th. A tactical approach maybe from him, I'm not too sure. We will see later on. Who knows?
Who knows? And Hobbsy's job here is to get away early. Do not get,
caught in the mess.
Accept the slipstream from behind.
Yeah.
And just get out of the first chicane. Get your braking point right. And just get away round Curva Grande, nice and easy. when the race starts to pull away from the Red Bull of Jelly, but not just Jelly. He's sat in P9 at the moment, and he's not the imminent threat. Long term, yes, but short term, his threat is Chris Panda, who we've seen has started to pick up his pace. Mike will be hunting for a victory here. He's not a million miles away. Looks like it in quali, but he did mess up. We don't know how fast he was going to go, Kez, but and Smithy will be up for it as well. He just you just need to get up. You need to get out of the first chicane, nice and well, no damage, and go from there.
Well, that's it, Limmy. It's that first corner can be a nightmare. We know that, and if you do corner cut on that corner, it's a potential 10-second penalty.
Yeah.
Just bear that in mind, because that is a killer.
We can take off if someone bumps you across.
Oh yeah, of course. Submit all incidents. Of course.
Yourself.
Just bear it in mind. We saw it in the practice race. And the practice race was an absolute mess, but a couple of drivers went on to that. So what's the word for it? What am I looking for? Is there a word for it?
The skate road.
There you go, that's the one. Went on to that and got a penalty. Just be careful of that. It's a very, very tight first corner, and I'm sure that we'll see a few dive bombs. Qualifying is over. If you could get a quick screenshot of that for us, I would appreciate it as normal.
I will do.
As we prepare for the Italian Grand Prix in Monza.
So we have a...
Well, it always helps. So there's a quick look at the qualifying for years. Let me get a screenshot. Obviously, with that 1:19.8, quite a comfortable result for the McLaren driver. He starts in P1 and gets that extra qualifying point. Chris Panda in second, he'll be happy with that. Looking to make it back-to-back podiums after the Spanish Grand Prix last weekend. Mike with team third. He's improved the last couple of weeks, Mike, after a really slow start to the season. He'll be happy with a P3. Jay Smith in fourth. Massive shout out for him. It's a superb effort from the Ferrari driver. His highest position in qualifying all season, and to end the top five is Favi Fenham, who I believe has had 2 DNFs in the last 2 races after a pretty comfortable season. So work to do for Favi tonight. Interesting qualifying. Let's look forward to the race. Make sure you check out Limmy's stream as well. He's just started streaming. If you prefer Limmy over me, go and watch Limmy's stream. I thought if you got 2 devices, put them both on. Why not? Why not?
The interesting point about that is, of course, every driver below the top 10 can purposely choose a different tyre if they want, meaning they could choose a pair of mediums, go longer, soft till the end. Interestingly, Jelly did that in a P9 place, and he has to keep that tyre. He set his fastest lap, and he will have to start on the mediums, which is not a bad thing. He can take them to 15 to 18 and finish the laps on soft. So we've got to keep an eye on Jelly's leader gap throughout this. We know Hobbsy likes to do a one-stop. Like we said, it is a one-stop. And talking about number one's Hedge, we have one light out to start the formation lap. If you've got some idea on the standings, Kez, if you want to...
I can check them, mate. Quickly while I get them up, do you want to do your predictions? We always do a prediction as commentators. Let's have your prediction for a top 3 and driver of the day. No pressure.
Driver of the day, I don't know. It's hard. I'll pick someone below the bottom 10 to do well. That's my driver of the day. And the podium, I think I fancy Mike to get a podium tonight. Yep. I think Chris Panda will keep it up. I don't think he'll spin this time. And we'll be keeping an eye on it. And yeah, I think the current top 3 will get the top 3.
A quick driver standings update for you. I mean, Jelly's 136 points. Hobbsy now on 121 after that qualifying point. So only 15 points between them going into the race, which is interesting. Arav is currently P3 with 78, followed closely by his teammate Favi Fenham on 70, Chris Panda 59, Ryan Mills 44, the Renaults are in P5 and 6 respectively, J. Luke on 42 points in P7, which is pretty incredible considering he's done 2 races. So well done to J. Luke if he's watching. Mike, Chimp and AEK fill out the top 10. Lewis Wyatt on 3 points, definitely needs to get some points, as does Jacob Bryce on the 1. Smithy's only got 9 points, but starting P4 gives him a real opportunity to get some points on the board. Just quickly, constructor standings, Red Bull 174, Racing Point 148, McLaren 129 and Renault 103. That's the top 4 for you, Limmy, going into the race.
And that brings us fully up to date before we get going for race 8 and a 15. Your predictions very quickly as the cars enter.
My predictions, I'm going to go for a Jelly third. I think he'll at least get a third. I'm going to go for a Hobbsy second and a Favi win tonight. My driver of the day is Ryan Mills.
There we go. You see on your dynamic screen the cars loaded up. Only 27 laps. This could be, without safety cars, a sub 40-minute race. It is really quick. Monza is well known, not just to the Italian Ferrari Tifosi fans, but to general F1 fans, that 82% of the lap distance is taken at power. It's all about speed, it's all about overtakes. We'll get it in abundance, but it does bring incidents, controversies, possible safety cars as well. The lights are now coming on for race 8 out of 15. We're here in Monza Park, and it's lights out and away we go. It's a good start by Hobbsy, a good start by Chris Panda as well. He's almost wheel to wheel with the McLaren to turn 1. There's a Ferrari and a Red Bull of Mike and Smithy just behind them, and into turn 1 we go, and Hobbsy breaks late, and Chris Panda's going to have to adapt as he goes past Hobbsy. Actually no, they're going to go wheel to wheel through Curva Grande. Mike's mopping up, Smithy's just behind, Jacko behind, and to the second chicane edge. Oh, and Hobbsy's losing speed.
Yeah, great start for Chris Pandolin. He's up into P1. Not much changing in terms of anything else. Top Dog up 2. Lewis Wyatt down 5. But what a start for Chris Panda in the Renault Limit.
Smithy's just dive bombing to the second chicane. It didn't look pretty, and he's going to go quite slow through Lesmo as well, as he's got a bit of grass on his tyres. But Chris Panda already just more than a second ahead. Hobbsy, Smithy, Mikey's next. Alfa Romeo, Jacko. He's almost going wheel to wheel with Mike down to Ascari, and these overtakes early on matter because we got DRS to come in 2 laps time. Mike's going to have the inside to Ascari. Oh, with a touch, and Jacko can't stop. He's onto the gravel just like Vettel was, and Mike's into 5th. Arrow's got an overtake, so is Well, so is Jelly, and Chimp is going to get one as well, Hedge.
Yeah, Jacko a bit disappointed there. Looked like a collision with Mike, not too sure what happened. Didn't catch it very good, really. I was letting you sort of take it away. Jacko a bit disappointed with that. He's got work to do, as is everybody else. Chris Panda up 1. He's had a really positive start. A second on Hobbsy already, but work to do. And Smithy and Favi up 1 each, respectively, 2. We've got a yellow flag, and AEK's retired. On the straight.
Just before. Oh, we have a safety car because of that incident. And the safety car will come out for the next lap as the cars make it round. And Hedge did say before the race, we've had a safety car in every race, we're still on track.
Well, AEK put in the chat literally 2 minutes ago, Hedge, I'm going to get 14th to 7th tonight again. And he's gone. No points for AEK in the first retired driver of the evening. 15 left. Pretty exhilarating 2 laps. Chris Panda leading at the moment. A really positive start. He always seems to get out of the blocks really well, Chris Panda. It's whether he can hold that momentum and keep it up. Hobbsy down 1, Smithy up 1, but I'm sure that we might see a few drivers into the pits now, which could change all this again. But disappointment for AEK in the Haas, and a bit of pressure on James now to bring home the bacon for the Haas drivers.
Only some minor changes in the position changes, apart from Jacko, who obviously dropped free. He was going down to the second chicane with Mike, and he just stepped to the right a little bit instead of just tucking in and sitting behind Mike and waiting for an opportunity. Got a little bit aggressive, went onto the grass, and if you go on the grass, you can't brake. And one of the Haas drivers is out as, Chris Panda decides to pit, and we are on safety car, so it'll be interesting to see what tyres he puts on. Kez, I'm sure, will come back to us. Hobbsy, Smithy, Favi, literally actually everyone stays out. Good move or bad move?
Couple of people in the pits actually. Panda, Arav, Wills and Jacko. Jacko I think needed to fit. May have got a bit of damage on the collision with Mike earlier. Chris Panda onto the medium compound, I believe, as is Arav, as is Jacko, and as is Jay Wills. So a medium compound for the 4 drivers in the pit stop.
If I was on that track, I would have kept my position, but it depends. Hopefully it works out for Chris Panda in the long run. Because the problem he's got, Kez, is Jelly's literally in the same situation, but he's 5th.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Chris Panda now P12, Limmy. So an interesting call. Let's see if it benefits him on it. He had a flying start, didn't he, Chris Panda, as well? Did Hobbsy pretty quickly. Let's hope for his sake it pays off. He knows how to look after tyres. And we will see. Jay Smithy will be over the moon in a P2. It'll feel like Christmas for him, being up there in that position. Let's hope he can hold out and get a really good result. We haven't really seen much of the Ferraris this season. at the top of the grid, so it'd be amazing to see a Ferrari up there tonight, and good luck to Smithy and Jacob. We're both in a good position, Smithy in second and Jacob up 5 into 8th, so a really positive start in their home Grand Prix for the Italians.
I think Chris Panda probably could, I mean, Jelly's in literally the same position. Jelly's going to have a 1-stop with a softs, and he's in 5th, and Chris Panda's now going to have a 1-stop. But he's in 12th. It's just a case if he can keep up with the cars in front, not lose the time, and carry on. Everyone is with the safety car, and it looks like we are going to do one more lap anyway. The safety car does have most of the time a minimum criteria of 2 laps, so we will be sat here for another couple of minutes. Oh, Smithy makes it into the pits. Oh, it just says he's been disqualified on mine. I hope he hasn't.
I didn't get that. He's pitting normal on mine, mate.
Oh, good. Yeah, it does look like he's speeded him.
He's put mediums on and he's out, so no disqualification as far as I'm aware for Smithy.
I was getting scared.
He's on the mediums. Lewis White in the Mercedes is on the mediums, and James in the Haas is on the mediums. So a couple of drivers now onto the medium compound. That's Smithy and Chris. We've had really positive starts to the race that have pitted early. So it's a bit of a risky manoeuvre, but hopefully for their sake it pays off.
It's up to P9, which is better, excuse me, than what it was. Maybe we're not going to hit the sub 40 minutes anymore. This race was done in 1 hour and 15 minutes in real life, which I was expecting it to drop to about 38 minutes. But we've had the safety car, so... but it definitely won't be as long as tomorrow night, which will probably at least go on for another hour in Singapore.
Yeah, we'll have to get ready for tomorrow night, won't we? Very prepared.
We'll be talking a lot more and probably shouting a lot more at the start and during as well as we wait for the safety car to make its way to the end. But so far we've got a clear difference in the grid. Softs top 8 except Jelly, of course, and mediums for the rest who pitted early.
What it has done is benefited the drivers towards the back of the grid. Who've got a chance now to get a bit of speed and pull away in these soft people, such as, you know, your Chimps, who's up by 7, Mills up by 5, Jacob 6 and Top Dog 7. Gives them all opportunity now on the softs to get a bit of speed, try and pull away a bit, and then pit later.
So it's very important that Hobbsy doesn't do what me and Jay Luke did in the practice race and set off too early. Now I never do that, but first time I've done it, and Favi Venom took show me who's boss, and he's trying to show Hobbsy, he's trying to get into the McLaren's mind games a little bit. Hobbsy is literally not allowed to brake check him, but of course you have to give each other a bit of room, as Hobbsy's setting himself up for a wide exit on Parabolica, and everyone wants to make these moves early. Of course you can only cross when you pass the finish line, but the finish line is actually really close to the start of the pit lane, and Hobbsy catches Favi Venom out, gets on the power, and Hobbsy's already ahead as we restart again. Mike needs to go behind the racing point to get this switch in. Oh, there's ghosting everywhere. I don't know if that was on yours. Jelly's
it's a
behind
lag from
him
Mike, I think.
Chimp, Mills, Jacob, Top Dog into turn 1 we go after a safety car restart. Chimp's on the grass, he's also hit the Red Bull's gearbox. Chimp might have some damage. Favi Venom's into second but goes wide, and Mike goes into second. Jelly's also passed him a racing point, while Kerber Grande as well. Chimp in 5th, Mills in 6th.
Yeah, quick update, if you missed it, Favi Venom in the racing point got a 5-second penalty during all that chaos. Mike Whitty has really bad connection, I think, Limmy. He's got a red bar on my screen. Do you want to check out on yours just to make sure it is his connection? He was ghosted, as you said, and he appears to be the only car that is lagging. So maybe a bit of a connection issue for Mike. Hopefully it doesn't last too long, because he's in quite a healthy position. But Favi Venom gets a 5-second penalty, which will disrupt... Yeah, Top Dog.
Top Dog in the second part of Lesmo. I don't know if it was with J Wills or an Alpha, I'm not too sure. I did catch it, but I wasn't quite looking at that moment. And Top Dog is in the wall, and another race he hasn't finished, but we have to zoom to the front as Favi Venom is only 3 tenths behind Jelly. If he gets a good exit from Parabolica, he might have a chance. He's got better tyres as well. What can Favi do in terms of the exit speed? And he's already catching the Jelly in the Red Bull as Hobbsy sets a 25.3 faster to come. Favi Venom goes wheel to wheel with Jake, bit of wheel bagging for both of them, and Favi Venom down to the first corner. He's in front and splits for Red Bulls.
He is indeed. I mean, Top Dog's gone as well. You did mention it earlier. We're down to 14, and disappointing for Top Dog. A really positive start to the season, but it's not quite worked out. for the Alfa Romeo driver. Bit of a sort of caterpillar on track at the moment. I mean, a lot of cars sort of conjoined, especially towards the back end. Other than James, who's obviously right at the back. He has just pitted though, as is James. Sorry, we had him in third. Has got a 5-second penalty, as we mentioned earlier. And an interesting start in Monza.
Jelly just went wide in the second chicane. The reason why he's lost his time is a Mercedes of Lewis out just before the first Lesmo. He's on to the first, yeah, it's the second chicane actually. He will be able to come back on the track. Might have some damage to his left side of his wing, I'm not too sure, as Hobbsy works through the Ascari section for the 6th time out of 27, and we know this race is quick as long as we don't have safety cars all around. And we've got Chimp 5th, Mill 6th at the moment. Good little battle from them brewing as well. Jacob Bryce 6th in 9th, is in points at the moment, has got medium drivers all around him, and we will have DRS when we cross the line.
Yeah, the traditional P6 from Ryan Mills. Obviously gets fastest lap of 1:24.4. Mills goes for the overtake on Chimp, and with DRS enabled, he may just get it. A real battle going between the two. A bit of lag on my screen, and we're not sure if that happened on yours as well. As Chimp holds off for now, but definitely something to keep an eye on. Are you getting a bit of lag, Limmy, on your screen now and then, or is it just me?
A tiny bit. It was good racing from Paris. Arif makes a move on J Wills. Oh, textbook from the racing point on the inside of turn 1. Sends J Wills for a cheeky hot dog. I know he likes his quotes, and a good move from Arif puts him into P10. With J Wills chasing him and actually catching him. Won't be able to make a move, but Arif is now in the points, and on swapped mediums he's working his way up. Yeah,
got sort of a mixture at the moment, haven't we? Sort of half the grid on mediums and half on softs. Mediums just sort of taking the reins over the softs at the moment. Not many left on the softs. The top 3 on softs, obviously.
Mike's in trouble.
Mike is in trouble.
Mike's in big trouble. As Favi Venom goes on the inside to Ascari, has to take half a curve. We saw that in other leagues as well, but just in case they do get a penalty, we can take it off as we've got nowhere to go. But Favi Venom cares into second. Keep on board with it though, because Mike will have DRS, and I'll go back to Mills.
Don't forget that 5-second penalty, Favi Venom though, Limmy, which will cost him when he does enter the pits pretty soon. I'm not sure, I didn't see it. I think it was ignoring a flag, I do believe. We'll check it later. I'm sure Favi will appeal it if it wasn't a penalty. And we can sort that out later. A bit of a battle going on here between the Red Bulls as well, of Mike and Jelly. Jelly just trailing Mike a little bit at the moment, but Chimp and Mills was also in a positive position. I haven't pitted just yet, but they'll be happy with their start to the Grand Prix.
Hobbs is doing well, leadership gap's increasing as Mike gets closer. Fabi into 2 temps around Curva Grande. Can he get over the inside? We saw Leclerc and Hamilton have this battle, and Leclerc pushed him wide and got black and white flags. We can't do that tonight, but I'm sure we'll get close. Fabi Venom goes wide, and Mike has to tap on his brakes a little bit. If he had for traction, he could have gone past. Entering the Lesmos of these two, properly fighting for a P2 as they touch. Because Fabi goes wide. Turn, what is that? Turn 6 it is.
Yeah, damaged M plate from Mike Whitty, Limmy. The left M plate.
Questionable. Yeah,
which could cost
every
him.
time these guys are fighting, Hobbsy's increasing that gap, and that's perfect for Hobbsy.
Yeah, it sets by Hobbsy up to the clear track. It's a dream, and he can pull away. Obviously, he's got a pit just yet, but it's a dream for Hobbsy when he pulls away. And I'm sure that's costing Mike as Jelly's teammate gets the overtake, and that could be a pit stop this lap for Mike. I would imagine it will be.
He will be able to go to the end, that's for sure, but it will have another 5.5 seconds-ish for a change of a wing. Might just stay out just to get... so Chip's 1.7 behind, so we will be able to protect that at least for 1 lap or 2. And then maybe he's just trying to make the best of it. Chris Panda and Jacko are going wheel to wheel down to the first chicane, and Jacko brakes super late, or maybe Chris Panda actually broke a little bit earlier. One of the two. Jacko remains 7th, and now those two cats have caught up Mills and Chimp in
Yeah, I was
front.
going to say, it's a real fall of Jacob Bryce. It's a 3-second penalty. I do believe it's the first 3-second penalty we've seen all night. I may have to check that later, but I'm pretty sure it is. A real battle here between Mills and Chimp. That's been the case for pretty much all season between these two, and it continues to be a battle tonight as Mills goes on the gravel and spins and collides with Chris Panda. It's the Reynolds that have hit each other. Jacko's gone as well. What a nightmare for Ryan Mills, who did hit his teammate Chris Panda. Did Chris get damage? He didn't. Fortunate for Chris Panda, but a nightmare for Ryan Mills, and Jacko gets caught up in it again. He had a collision with Mike earlier, And now, unfortunately, nothing he could do about it. Hits into Mills. He's on the gravel. He's Jack. He's had a nightmare there, but disappointing for Mills. He's got work to do now.
When 4 cars go through the second chicane, like a car centipede, you've heard it say it doesn't go well. And Mills has started with Mills actually going on the gravel, and I think the Alpha, I'd have to check, moved to the left-hand side of the track. Instead of just going round for Renault.
Look at this battle. Oh, Mike's gone! Mike, we've seen the Red Bull's gone. He's got no wing limit. It was an incredible battle between Chris Panda, Chimp and Mike. A collision. I think the all three colliding. Mike may have got sandwiched. And he's very lucky to still be in the Grand Prix. But he's got no wing and now a penalty. I didn't catch it all. There was a 3 of them racing. Brilliant racing for the 3. I think Mike literally just got sandwiched. Between the 2 of them, and he was lucky not to retire, but his wing's completely gone. Incredible.
I'm a bit frustrated. I didn't see that. We can take the penalty off. It's never a penalty. But what we can't do is give him a free wing on the track, which means he's going to have to come into the pits. But that's fine. It's about time for pits at 10. He has lost a bit of time. He'll be fine if there's a safety car later. We can take the penalty off. It was never a penalty. But what we can't do is save him 6 seconds.
I do believe, Limmy, sorry to interrupt, I believe,
going to get past
yeah, Chimp's got a right end plate damage as well, so it must have been a collision between Chimp and Mike. Chris Panda doesn't seem to have damage, so just as he did with the Mills incident, seems to have got away well, Chris Panda. But damage for Chimp, and obviously more serious damage for Mike, who's now going to get overtaken by Jay Wills as it surely heads into the pits now. A Ferrari is in trouble as well. It may have been Jacob Bryce. He's lost the position to his teammate Smithy as Mike heads into the pits with no wing. He's got work to do, the Red Bull. Here's the Ferraris. Colliding, I think they just collided with each other, Limmy. Real battle. And the home Grand Prix to impress the fans, and Jacob Bryce heads into the pits. Jacko goes on the hard comp for Limmy as well.
It's very rare that I miss a 3 car wide. I don't think I ever have missed that. It's a bit disappointing, but you got a full update, and it was Chris Panda, Chimp and Mike. Mike come off second best. He has pitted, changed his wing. He's going to come out in front of Mills. It actually might be pretty close between Mike and Mills. Just coming down to the first chicane. Mike's just ahead, brakes about in time, got south of curve as well, and Mike and Mills on new tyres sit 11th and 12th. Pit stops about 22 seconds, and they'll need a safety car later on. We've got Favi and Chim will be the next people to pit, and Hobbsy has just got past his teammate with a free overtake. Good work by the McLaren.
Let's a quick check on the position changes. Jelly up 8, Favi up 3, Chris Panda down 1, but he's done really well after an early pit stop during the safety car. Chimp up 8, not pitted yet though. Arav up 3, Hobbsy down 5. J Wheels remains in the P7 that he started in, as Arav looks for the overtake on Chimp. Limmy, you might want to say, oh, Chimp was into the pits actually. There is Chimp's pit stop. Favi also into the pits, and that should change a few standings again. I do believe that all drivers will have pitted once. Let's have a quick check. Other than Jelly, everybody's pitted. I thought Jelly had pitted.
No,
clearly
he started
not.
On medium.
He did indeed. He did indeed.
So Chris Panda is not in the worst position. He's 5 seconds ahead of the leader. They both got the pit stop. What that means is whatever Chris's gap is to Jelly, he will obviously be behind him when they pit. All they have to do is just get that gap get the gap up, and increase from the cars behind them as well, because Arav is in the same situation. So is Jay Wills and Smithy. Best driver at the moment, Edge. Is Hobbsy by 13 seconds behind the leader, but he has got new tyres till the end.
He has indeed. Lewis White and Mike are in a bit of a battle then. It looks like Mike may have pulled away now. He's got work to do. Michael Jacob Bryce gets a 5-second penalty for corner cut. That puts a massive dent into his chances of a top 10. Mike's got work to do, Limmy, after that damage, as is Mills. 2 drivers that were doing really comfortable. We're being really comfortable on track. We've got a yellow flag, and it's Jay Wills from McLaren. He's retired.
Oh, he's out.
He is retired, and we're down to 14.
On board with Smithy, it's
13,
a VSC as well.
How?
What? Oh, it's his left wheel. He's come out. I'm guessing he's come out of a Ascari on the right
in the middle of the track
and spun into the left wall and that's put him onto the track. Now, is it the time? I would have said this safety car was a couple laps later. You might have got away with a soft change, but not. We started with 16, we're down to 13 on lap number 13, and we're just under halfway, and so far we have been treated.
We have indeed, Limmy. I'm just on board with Jelly, who's about to lap Jacko. Jacko's been really unfortunate, to be fair to him. From what I've seen, and I may be wrong, obviously I've only got one pair of eyes, but he's had 2 collisions, none of them are his fault. He had a collision with Mike early doors, got a bit of damage, went onto the gravel, and obviously the Mills collision was nothing that any driver could do. Mills lost control. Unfortunately, Jacko was sort of in the wrong position at the wrong time, if you like, and got damaged. So really unfortunate for Jacko. He's got serious work to do now, as Jelly looks for the overtake on him. Not yet, but it will come. Interesting race so far. As you said, Limit, 13 left on lap 13.
Jelly is, of course, yes, approaching the back marker, and it's not been the race that the Alfa Male would have won. Might be the race that Chip wants. However, it looked close to James, but did get a poor exit out of a second part of the Lesmo. And Mike is also about the same distance from the Haas to the Toro Rosso, behind in 9th place. I'm going to keep an eye on this battle for a little bit, because just behind we have Mills catching Lewis as well, and if Mills gets a better exit, I think he struggled out of a turn 10 part. Chimp has got past James down to the Parabolica. Mike will be looking for DRS on James as James brakes super early. Oh, sorry, super late for Parabolica. Let's see if Mike's got the DRS on the Haas driver. I think he has, and James is degrading in his Haas, and it could be a Mike into P7 move here. He's got the DRS now, bit of battery being used. James actually had DRS from Chimp in front as they go wheel to wheel down to turn 1. I think Mike's got the overtake pretty much locked in, as long as he gets his braking zone right. And Chimp, Mike and James is the order.
Retired! Oh my word.
On board with Smithy we go. We have a safety car in Italy, and let's go on board with Smithy, to not see what happens to Hobbsy. So it's through the first part of Lesmo. Oh, he's gone and spun on the curb into the wall. And the guy, the driver that was trying to close the gap on Jelly and was doing a solid job at doing, is now out.
What a nightmare. Oh,
No!
Smithy gets a drive-through penalty.
Why did he do it?
Gutted for him, but what a nightmare for the McLaren team.
Why does he do it?
We're in a lap, we've lost Wills and Hobbsy, both McLarens gone. And we are down to 12. Gutted for Hobbsy, gutted for the McLaren team, gutted for Smithy. It was absolutely flying in a superb position, and that drive-through may have just killed his race. But what a race, we've got 12 laps to go.
So Hobbs is out. It's not a bad thing, because now what happens now is the Alfa Romeo will be allowed to overtake the safety car, or should be. That means all the grid can reform back up in order. Go on, Jacko, overtake it. He's got a green light. Go on. Yes. It's like teaching a child. And then we have we can reform the grid, and now Jelly. Chris Panda's put on another set of mediums.
Yeah, so's Arav. Oh, Jacko's disqualified for ignoring yellow flag. Whether he has or not, it doesn't look like he. I don't know if he has. It come up on my screen that he's been disqualified, but he's still in. Is that just a glitch? I don't know. It seems very, very harsh.
Well.
If he has been retired, but he's still in, I think, on my screen, so maybe not.
So it's like 15 of 27. Jelly has pitted for a set of softs. Chris and Arav just behind him. They won't be able to hunt him down immediately, because I'm sure the soft tyres will win. However, when the softs die later, Chris and Arav will have a chance. You've got Favi and Chimp and Mike just behind them on some slightly used mediums. You've got James on quite an old pair of mediums. I'm surprised he did pit for either a new pair or some softs. Softs can go to the end from here if you do, a tiny bit of tyre management. Jack is in the pits. He obviously hasn't been disqualified, but we have 4 drivers out. AEK, Top Dog, Jay Wills and the other McLaren driver, the net race leader, and he was looking to close that gap, Kez, on Jelly in Drivers' Championship.
Well, he got the fastest qualifying point, mate. The gap down to 15 points. And Lewis has retired
Lewis
as well.
At Ascari! What?
We're
On
not
a
gonna see
safety
it.
car! No, we won't.
They're down to 11. They
How?
keep falling. And at the moment, only one driver isn't going to get points that is currently in the race.
I understand that not everyone here is a die-hard F1 fan. Not everyone spends 3 hours a day on F1, as Shaker gets a 10-second penalty. That puts us up to 18. Anyway, that people don't spend 3 hours on F1 a day. But it's the basics that you have to follow in order to do well in a competition like this. Smithy cannot do his drive-through until the safety car comes in. So that will put Smithy not only last, he will have to rely on a driver to go out to get points because he's going to be about 15 to 20 seconds behind. So that's ruined that race. It's done. The second part is that Lewis has just gone out on a safety car, and that is just, it's a throwaway. It really is. You're just throwing your race away. We started late tonight. It's getting late. It's nearly 11:30. When you turn up for a race like this, you just gotta, Kez, you just gotta be like consistent and just, just get it done, shall we say?
Well, you spot on what you're saying. I mean, the way the race is going so far, you're not going to get a top 3 by any means. But you're going to get points. Smithy gets another penalty there, so Lewis was not in a bad position. I don't believe he had many penalties. I don't recall him having one penalty. I may be wrong. So interesting. Maybe he got fed up with it, and that can happen. It happens quite a lot where drivers just think to themselves, you know what, I'm not getting anywhere, I'm fed up. But he had a real opportunity there to get some points. Safety car comes in, Limmy. Oh, and Jacko gets a penalty as well.
Oh, is it coming in? Oh, okay. I thought he was going to do one more for Jacko to catch up, but let's see what happens here then. So we have Jelly leading, he's got softs, he should pull away imminently. We've got a Renault of Chris Panda waiting, we've got Arav and Fabi as Jelly puts on his accelerator and we get going for the third time. Oh, Chris Panda's got an insane exit! Look at this! He's going wheel to wheel with Jelly down to turn 1, both using 5 battery. Who's going to have, I'll say some testicles then? Into turn 1 we go, and we both brake at the same time. Chris Panda goes a little bit late, he's going to have to go over the escape road. Luckily, doesn't get a penalty, Jake's back in, Fabi's behind, Chip's 4th, Mike's 5th.
Yeah, I went into the pits and I don't think you saw it. He got a 5-second penalty for a collision with Chris just as the car was coming in. I don't think you caught that. I mean, Chris Pan, like you said, what an insane start. Just took it wide towards the end of the first corner, and he's now hit the gravel a little bit as well, which gives Jelly a perfect opportunity to pull away on them fresh softs. But what a start.
Into the Lesmos again, and yeah, like you say, Jelly's 1 second already. Favi, Chip not far behind, neither is Mike. Might get a better exit out of his second Lesmo, but no DRS until lap 19 as Mike is gaining on the Toro Rosso. Might make a move into Ascari. What's going to happen here? Mike moves to the left. Is he going to make a cheeky braking point and have a go? I don't think he is. Chip backed off as if he was going to leave him, and they still move, but that's cost them time. 1.8 seconds to Favi in front. Smithy's got a drive-through pen, but he must do. James is on old tyres. Mills has got a great chance to get his famous P6.
He has indeed. The famous Ryan Mills P6, as you say, Lemmy. Fusky Chimp's got a real good opportunity tonight to get some more points. He gets a 1:23.5, currently the fastest lap in Monza. But what opportunity for Chimp tonight after a couple of disappointing races recently to get some points as Mike goes for the overtake.
Mills into his P6 position past James down the start finish straight, and he is in to P6. And you were saying about Mike and Chimp, and I think he's
Mike
got the move on edge.
Yes, indeed, he's pulled away as well. I mean, a really good overtake from Mike, who is hunting down the pack. He wants that podium and a Red Bull top 3 tonight with no points from the McLarens, and currently a pretty poor effort from Arav, who was just pitted, to be fair, on the fresh softs. He's got time yet. Could give Red Bull a chance to pull away in the constructors.
Oh, Smithy's off, just outside the pit lane at turn 1. Jacko's going to go past the Ferrari driver into 9th. Arab is going to catch up soon, I think, but pitted really late, like you said. And at the moment, smallest gaps, 1.6 seconds as Jelly pulls away a little bit. Lap 18.27, 2/3 of the way through when they cross the line, and 9 laps to go when they cross 2. And so far, I think Chris Panda will be very happy. All Chris Panda has to do is just stay as close as he possibly can and let those softs die, as we have. I think it's James Kez having a moment in a scary.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Jay Smith, who's having a bit of a battle with Jacko. We definitely want to keep an eye on Limmy at the moment. It still seems to be the closest battle on track by a mile, as the Ferrari driver goes onto the gravel and loses his traction, and that gave Jacko a chance to pull away into P9.
So Chris Panda, Jelly isn't gaining any time during the straights. All the cars were saying the tyres don't give you any straight line boost, but in the corners, not really the chicanes either, maybe a little bit, but it's more the Ascari section of the Lesmos where you can attack the 90-degree corners a little bit more. As you see, Chris Panda, he's not actually, losing too much time, which is good. That's what he wants. If he can keep between 3 or 4 seconds and then let those soft tyres degrade, he's got a massive chance. Mills is gained on Chimp, Kez. Kez, as Chimp did just go on the gravel a little bit for the right-hander of turn 6. And we've got to keep an eye on this, as this is the closest gap at the moment. Yeah,
you have a mile on me. I was already watching Mills and Chimp before we even commented on it. They seem to have a battle in pretty much every race to these two drivers, and once again, it looks to be the Chimp versus Mills battle. Mills in his P6 at the moment, traditional P6 for Mills, as we mentioned already, but he'd love a P5, and Chimp has got work to do. Penalty's right on his tail. Talk you through it.
I think you might have to, because I think Mills will have DRS around the parabolic.
You should have DRS, you are right. He's within 1 second of him by a mile. 0.2 at the moment, so should have DRS. And Mills, if he's brave enough, will go for the overtake. But we know what Mills is like sometimes. He can bottle it. Jacko gets a penalty, which puts his position in doubt a little bit. Mills should have the DRS, does have the DRS, and needs to close the gap on Chimp. Will he go for the overtake? He will not, and Chimp holds the P5 for now, but definitely to keep an eye on Chimp and Mills in the battle for P5 in Monza.
So I'm impressed with these two, because every time I've watched them, and I've watched them quite a bit during this race, because they are fighting for a P5 spot, 10 points. They've got their braking zones absolutely spot on until before just Mills going wide at the second chicane. But down into turn 1 especially, Chimp and Mills, as has everyone else, got their braking point spot on. I think Mike has just closed the gap to Fabi Venom quite considerably as they go through the second part, and Mike will have DRS. Does he have the room to make a move down to the Ascari section? This happened last time as Mike goes to the right hand side. Will the outside or inside win? Will Fabi give in? And he does give in. Mike's into P3, but we've got a DRS zone coming up in about 15 to 20 seconds, and Mike's going to have to try and pull away. And so is Mills into 5th place.
Yeah, Mills took a really lovely overtake on Chimp. Limmy, you just missed it. Lovely from Mills. Just a quick comment again. Fabi Venom did get a 3-second penalty just a moment ago, which could impact his finish. But we will see at the end. But a lovely overtake from Mills. I'm sure Chimp will fight to get that position back. But at the moment, P5 belongs to Mills. It looks like a really comfortable race for the Renaults.
Fabi Venom does get past Mike down the pit finish straight, and Mike nearly outbroke himself back into a pink gearbox that you see at the back of Fabi, but he does well. And what's Mike exits like? I can't even speak. Around the Curva Grande, it seems okay, but I think Fabi did just touch the dirt. Jacob Blythe with another penalty. Don't want to know how many he's got as Mike makes a cheeky move down the inside of a second chicane. Fabi gives him room. Good racing from the pair of them. Mike, someone has just got damage. I think you'll have to check Fabi's left end plate there, as they touched. Yeah,
it's Fabi's end plate. I can confirm it is gone.
Just trying to check Mike's right end plate as we head down to the Ascari, as Mike's going to go wheel to wheel with the Racing Point for the second time in 2 laps, and Fabi Venom's going to have to tuck in, and they were going wheel to wheel through the second chicane, but an end plate damage isn't too bad on this track. It is all about power. As you see, Fabi's already catching in without DRS. This is a great little scrap for the podium position, as Fabi is going to go on the outside of Parabolica as they go wheel to wheel. go. Round turn 11, and I think Mike just will exit. But that means the Racing Point will have DRS. The DRS detection zone is behind the corner. And who's got it? Mike's got the DRS. And I think Favi might just be able to keep his car in front into turn 1. What a scrap.
Yeah, a lovely camera angle on that as well, Limmy. You could see Favi and Mike really going at it. And we've got a battle here, mate. No doubt about that. Chris Panda and Jelly are comfortable. The P1's not done yet for Jelly or Chris Panda, but they are comfortable and without fail now I say should get a podium. That could change, probably will change, you never know. But they're in a really healthy position. Favi and Mike, like you say, as Mike gets a penalty, which could impact. All these things come into play at the end, and a penalty for Mike for that corner cut. As for the Mills and Chimp battle, Mills has pulled away a little bit, and a healthy P5 for Mills, who will now have to try and gain some time on Mike.
Oh, I don't like it. Oh, James and Jacko, we're going round Curva Grande, wheel to wheel. They were wheel banging like 7 times, and the Alfa Romeo goes wide. Oh, Smithy, the elevation on his Ferrari. I don't think Matteo Bonotto would have been happy with the ground floor clearance there. His Ferrari flew off the ground, off the curb. However, Smithy going wheel to wheel. Mike's
retired! Oh my word. In the middle of the track.
Contact. Smithy has spun, Oliver has spun, James has spun as well. Nightmare after Lesmo.
A VSC, and Mike, the Red Bulls, getting no points, and this brings Ryan Mills, who's got work to do by no means about it, into a podium opportunity, shall I say. Favi's got penalties, he's got damage. Get your foot down, Mills. You've got an opportunity here for a big night in Monza, and if Renault do get a podium, wow, a double Renault podium could potentially be on the cards as Arav retires as well. Did that happen? When's that happened? Did that happen just then?
Well, no. Well, yeah, just then, because he didn't spin on the when the 3 cars. Yeah, it's a Ascari. But the Ascari, like I said in the formation lap, it's where most cars go on this track. It's where they spin. It's the curb. If you take too much of a left curb or the right curb after it, you are in trouble. And so, I mean, personally, it's a safety car all over. Which would have been interesting, but I mean, there was a DNF on the Ascari section. There was a 3-car pile-up after turn 7, second part of Lesmo. Had a safety car written all over it. It's just probably because we're so late into the race. But Chris Panda's gap cares only 2 seconds. Jelly can and does get some penalties. Racing well at the moment,
indeed. The top 2 really battling, and really interesting concept here, as I mentioned, Limmy, is Fabi Venom, who's got a good lead at the moment, but I did mention earlier he's got damage and has got penalties. So Chimp and Mills are not out of the race for a podium just yet, and as it stands, it's looking like a really good race for the Ferraris in their home Grand Prix. Smithy and Jacob, at the very least, are getting a top 9. Finish the race, boys. Oh, the commentator's curse. There it is. There it is again.
He's gone on Ascari as well. It's another VSC.
The commentator's curse again, Limmy. Banging on about a Ferrari top 9 finish in the home Grand Prix. And there goes Smithy, and we are down to 8. We have lost half of the grid, which you would expect in Singapore, but maybe not in Monza. What an end to the race we've got in store here.
So I'm trying to... So, 1, 2, 3... 4, 5, 6. So 6 of the 8 cars have gone on that section, a Ascari section, and we did say, but Jacob, P6, he would have laughed at you if you said he's getting a P6. However, does have a lot of penalties, but James has a 40-second gap. I predict a possible P7 for Jacob, if he can keep his pace up. Chris has very soft tyres now. My prediction will be about 30-35%.
Yeah.
Chris Panda will be on about 15-20. We know as soon as the soft tyres go above 30, they degrade heavily.
Yeah.
So Chris Panda... Chris Panda has just the VSC spot on. He's now within a second of Jelly, with 3 laps to go. Race on.
Well, I'm not going to check penalties, but there's a lot of penalties, and a lot of these drivers do have penalties. So that could play a factor. We will find out at the finish. Ryan Mills and Fundios Chimpa not out of the battle for a podium just yet due to Fabi's penalties. Just want to keep you know, making people aware of that. We have battles on here. The T1 is not done yet, and the podium position is not done yet. We're down to 8 drivers, and there's still a lot to be decided in Monza. Chris does get DRS just, which will help him gain ground on Jelly. We've got a battle on our hands here, Limmy, into the home straight of the race.
So at this point, it's the balance between catching him and just remaining within that 1 second gap, and that's the moment the Ascari isn't affected. The softs are useless now in the Ascari section. As you can see, Chris Panda gaining without DRS. It's about battery control, and Jelly's got less of it. We also have a Fabi Venom podium. He has got a penalty, which I'm sure we can take off, but he will have to clip it so we can do that. As Chris Panda is gaining on the Red Bull. He won't get him here, but we are in for an absolute treat. All Chris Panda has to do for 2 laps, 2 minutes and 40 seconds of his life, is just get the braking point spot on, force a mistake, just like Hamilton did with Vettel in Canada, force a mistake on the Red Bull. Your tyres are probably now actually better than most soft tyres, and we are in for a treat. Mills in 4th, Kaz, Chimp in 5th, Jacob in 6th. Brilliant result so
Just
far.
a quick comment on the Fabi Venom incident. He's got more than 1 penalty, Limmy, I'm pretty sure. So
right.
Okay. We did have, I think it was a 5-second one we did think about taking off when we saw it. But I do believe he's got maybe 1 or 2. I'm not going to check because it ruins it. But 1 or 2 3-second penalties. So Jacob Bryce gets a 10-second penalty, which probably does end his chances of a P6. But he'll be happy, Jacob Bryce. His own Grand Prix and his own course for his best finish to date this season. I think he's only got 1 point all season, Jacob Bryce. So what a result for him.
Working down through Ascari. The thing that might destroy Chris's chances here is the blue back marker in front, but he is catching on Jelly. If he gets his parabolica right, he could have a right go on the final lap of Monza in Monza Park. And we have a yellow flag in sector 2. Jacob's retired. There won't be anything from here though, and Chris Panda's chance to take the lead of the Italian Grand Prix is now. He's behind the Red Bull. This is a huge moment for Chris Panda in Hedghog racing on race 8. Can he make it work? It's ideal that they don't touch. He brakes early, and I think they're going to go wheel to wheel. Will Chris Panda have the inside to 2? He's got to be careful not to lose time. He's just behind, and this is perfect as long as he stays behind. And round Curva Grande we go. He's going to try and go round the outside. A huge moment in this race it could be, and it's like the Leclerc Hamilton on lap 23 of Italy. And we're coming up to a DRS, Kez, and Chris Panda, he's lost a bit of time.
Superb racing from the two of them there. Really, really top end racing. And at the moment, Jelly looks to have pulled away a little bit and should now probably ride it out for the P1 position.
No. It's going to be close, Kez. Oh, it is going to be super close. Here we go then, Kez. If I shout over you until the end, I do apologise. But we're coming to the closing stages of the Italian Grand Prix. We don't believe any of these are penalties. It's all about exits as Chris Panda goes wide. Can he catch the Red Bull? He's going to have to do it absolutely immaculately and come round the final corner. Here we go then. It's the final parabolica, turn 11. It's treated as well. I think Chris Panda's going to go wide. And here we go. Can he catch the Red Bull? I don't think so. The finish is at the end. It's going to be so close, but he gave it a go, but it wasn't enough. And Jelly wins in Monza Park with Chris Panda only 2/10 behind.
Let's keep an eye on the just quickly, Jacko had to put intermediates on, which is a very interesting concept. Let's have a quick look. Fabian does cross the line in P3. Will that remain, or will Ryan Mills taste his first ever podium in competitive racing?
No,
he won't by 0.4. Agonising for Mills, but what an effort from the Renault drivers. P2 for Chris Panda, P4 for Ryan Mills. He is so close to his first ever podium. Fussy his chip, gets a P5. He will be over the moon with that, I'm sure. James gets a 6 for the Haas drivers with his teammate not finishing. And Jacko on the intermediate compound should round us off. What a race in Monza, Limmy.
So he's on the intermediates because he's had 6 stops and he's got no tyres left. That's true. But he has no tyres left. The only ones he's got is inters and wets.
Let's get offline and get the points.
Chris Panda, if he would have got the final corner right, I would have had him. He just went a little bit wide on the final turn 11. He was so close. What he should have done is if he would have kept on the outside to take then the inside, he would have had a better exit, and he only needed to find 2/10. But an absolutely superb performance, and now it makes you think, as if he didn't pit early, would he have won by a lot?
Well, of course, mate, it's but maybe was devastating for the Ferraris. 8th and 9th. Jacob Bryce was in one lap of getting, I think it may have been a P6 or 7, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not too sure. But Jacob Bryce, devastating for him. But what a race in Monza's. Ryan Mills gets a P4 and misses out on a podium by barely nothing. But what a race in Italy. Fair play to Jelly, fair play to Chris Panda. Congratulations for Favi. The rest of the drivers who finished. There's a podium for you.
We've got a Welsh, we've got a British, we've got a French on the podium. Very multicultural tonight, and it was a fantastic spectacle. But Jelly takes 25 points. I'm not actually sure who got the fastest lap, we will confirm. But only 7 drivers to finish, makes my life a little bit easier. But yeah, started with 16, it ended with 7, 55% of the drivers out. And God knows what that means for tomorrow.
Well, we're all in Singapore after a thrilling race in Monza. Quick check, as Jekyll, I'm sure we'll get a screenshot of the standings. Jelly with starting 9th, got first, definitely up for driver of the day there, there'd be no doubt about it. Chris Panda started second and got second. Favi with a 5th to 3rd. And Ryan Mills and Funny Oz Chimp, 11th and 12th respectively. And they came 4th and 5th. And what could have been for Ryan Mills, he was agonisingly close to his first podium. But I'm sure the Renault drivers will be over the moon. They are making ground. Do not rule them out in the Constructors' Championships by no means. They are making ground. And that's Ryan Mills' best finish so far this season. He will be delighted with that, as I'm sure will Chimp, as I'm sure will James in the Haas. Let's not forget about him. His teammate went out AEK, sorry. But what a finish for James. Starting 16th, did his job, got 6th. What a race in Monza, Limmy.
Yeah, you're spot on. Just to note as well, we don't need to do anything with Favi's penalties. There's no way he was going to catch anyone, so that makes our life easy as well. I don't think there was any racing incidents that will affect the final result of the drivers that finished, which is good. It was a 42-minute race with a safety car and quite a few VSC, so again, it was pretty quick. It came down to a last corner. And ifs, buts and maybes, as Heg said, if Chris Panda would have got a better exit. But what we do know, they both raced fantastically, and so did the other drivers that finished as well. It was great. It was worth staying up to 11:45. And I've got to save my voice for what is going to be probably sub-hour of a Singapore race tomorrow night, which will actually test even my commentary skills.
It will indeed, and I'm sure a bit of pressure on me as well. What a race in Monza, what a start to the weekend. This incredible season that keeps showing up drama for fun continues. Congratulations to the podium positions tonight, Jelly, Chris and Favi. Congratulations to the other drivers that finished as well. If you didn't finish, commiserations, go again tomorrow in Singapore. Thank you as always for Limmy for the superb commentary. Without him it wouldn't be possible. Thank you as always to the drivers. Without you obviously it wouldn't be possible. And thank you if you join me on stream. As always, your support means the world. Hit the like button, why not? Subscribe if you haven't already as well. And we'll see you tomorrow. Limmy, any last words from you?
No, I'm just going to sleep well and prepare for tomorrow.
That's it, because in less than 24 hours time, we are in Singapore. Please rain. Please,
and I'll have
please
no
rain.
I'll have no phone as well. Yes, please rain. Yes.
Please rain, that's what we'll dream of tonight. Rain in Singapore tomorrow. But regardless of the weather, it'll be a superb race. Thank you as always. Good night, take care, and we will see you tomorrow evening for the Singapore Grand Prix. Good night.